What's up, Saints and Eights? Welcome back to another episode of Music and Makeup. This is a special segment I like to call Behind the Beat. It's where I sit down with artists who are making serious noise in their lanes. Today's guest is a Philly-born and LA-based producer who is the founder of Gryndfest Music Group, the mastermind behind the Evolution series, a run of projects that showcase some of the dopest voices in underground hip-hop. His newest album, Evolution 6, just dropped and is stacked with heat, featuring everybody from Reek Osama, Passport Rav, to Monday Night and Nowaah the Flood. We're going to get into his beginnings as a producer, the vision behind the Evolution series, and what's next for him as he continues to shape the sound of tomorrow. Welcome to the podcast, Bhrama Bull. It's no problem. So just jump right into it and ask, how did you get into production?
I always liked sound design, grew up with a lot of records and little beat machines and electronics like, VHS players and Walkmans and stuff. And I always liked pressing buttons and stuff like that. I always had records. Mom's always had Sade playing and Luther Vandross and in Philly, there's a radio station called DAS and it has all the old stuff on it. My dad was a drummer. Mom sang while cooking, all that stuff. My dad was in the music industry, so I used to get a lot of promo records and stuff like that. Before they were anything like God's Effects, Del, Funky, Homo Sapiens. I didn't know who these people were,
Mm-hmm.
It's the sound, and then I start to put together, that's from this old record is that, and it kind of sparked my interest to progress,
Okay, that's kind of how I got into it. My dad had an old collection of records. I like being able to identify the sample from the old record that I had learned. So that was exactly how I got into hip hop and what fascinated me with production. So now Philly has a very rich hip hop history, I'll say a rich music history just in general. How did that shape your approach to production?
With Sigma Sound and, the sound of Philadelphia records that I found. Those are what Chris had. And rich sound, horns, really blaring kind of stuff, soul music. I really shaped everything. With that being on the radio and them having a rich history locally, they put me on the stuff that I didn't think I would learn living somewhere else. They have so many classic artists coming through there and through the Sigma kind of beyond that as, Sun Ra, Mel Jones and everything. That really helped me.
Who were some of the first producers you studied or inspired you when you were just starting out?
It started with the records. I would look who produced that, like Billy Paul. And then it led into P-Rock, Alchemist, Ninth Wonder, DJ Paul. I like down south production. Juicy J is a great producer. I went through all my phases, but I really stuck to the Alchemist, Terror Squad stuff, Beatnut, Psycho Les, and Cosmo. I really looked up to Havoc a lot and stuff like that. I tried to get my low end from Bay Area producers and funk and stuff like that. So I really tried to mesh it up. And when I came out here, it's DJ Mustard, it's DJ Quick, it's Dre, and I think all that traveling and moving around really kind of shaped my sound.
You have some really good mentors or people that you've studied after. You could tell in your production because your ear is very well-rounded. When you first started producing, what type of equipment or software were you working with? And do you still use some of those tools in your work today?
Oh, shit. The first machine I got was the MPC 2000 XL, a gray machine. I didn't even read the book or nothing, I got it for a gift. I just thugged it. I just tried to stay on it as long as I could because I know Havoc and them ain't read no books. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Reading is fundamental and you needed to do it, but I didn't want to do it that way. You know what I'm saying? I think the hard way was I wanted to do it how they did it. You know what I'm saying? Either learn through internships or something or a mentor, because producers are usually blessed by someone else like you. someone taught Ninth Wonder and he went over their house and they sat down and all this shit. Havoc taught Alchemist, you know. I didn't have all that, you know. That's why they're destined to like do what they do. They're like gods in the realm, you know. But I had, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I started with the 2000 XL, and then I was trying to like stream it into Pro Tools because it had like 8 outs, and you had to try to sync up to track it out. You had to press play and track everything out, then like blend it in. Like if you had 8 outs on your machine, because the hi-hat would be on one, the kick, the snare. But then I downloading the 2-track, and it really like helped me to learn what to do and what not to do and trusting in the sound of the machine. So the double X2000 Akai. Then I moved into another Akai and I got the 4000. Now that's purple. A lot of people use it. You know, it's almost like the 3000, but it was like the 4000. It was like the new shit. And I really liked that. It had some buses on it, some effects, a bigger hard drive. But then when I moved out to Cali, I couldn't bring it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't keep it. I had to sell it, you know, and I had like a little keyboard, like a little Yamaha keyboard to go with it for like my bass lines, but yeah, I couldn't keep it, so I moved. It was a big decision time for me, because the thing is like 80 pounds, you know what I'm saying? Shipping it with the case, I really couldn't afford it, you know what I'm saying? I took the hard drive out and I sold it to the Guitar Center. You know, they be finessing at Guitar Center, like
yes.
I've spent so much time on that, like on my early days. So I moved to Native Instruments because I seen Havoc used it and I seen Ninth Wonder using it and DJ Mustard. So I was like, yo, let me try this because I'm pretty nice with the computer. And it links up to the computer really well as a beat machine. I was a standalone guy making that and using the computer on the side because I had like a laptop pretty early in the game. So I'm like, yo, let's switch it up. I can finesse the computer and the beat machine and get it cracking, you know? I traded my 4000 for a micro Native Instrument machine. It's like a smaller, you know, one that you could travel with. And then I just learned that. I mean, that was like 9 years ago when it first came out. It was like the new hot shit. You know, I moved totally from Akai over to Native Instruments just for like the computer integration. And I felt like, yo, it fit me good because I kind of knew a lot about plugins, a little more about sound, and I still got busy with pressing the button. So now I moved into the Native Instruments studio, and it was like I've seen other things come through, but I don't really want to give up on this yet. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to stay dedicated to one machine because I'm liking the beats and how I'm doing it here. I don't want to switch and learn it.
Sometimes it's okay to be hands-on. So I feel like the book sometimes gets in the way, and I can learn better by just feeling around and just kind of touching around on things instead of like reading a book and going step by step.
And really putting your heart and soul into it.
Who was the first person who gave you your first shot, your very first placement or your first chance to collaborate?
It was my boy Gio. We were making mixtapes because I came from like the mixtape, like that Pith kind of era. I was like doing my thing in that too on the promotion side because I felt like, look, if I make mixtapes, there was no Spotify, there was just only SoundCloud, right? I was like, look, if I make mixtapes and put my song as number one, like people could hear it. You know what I'm saying? And like maybe I got a sound click, so maybe like they'll try to buy a beat. You know, I was thinking about the money. I didn't have a lot, and I wasn't selling the mixtapes. It was just really like a promotional thing for me to like maybe get hot. I may rap over my beat or some shit, you know? We put together mixtapes, we got covers and all that. And I gave them some tracks. We making mixtapes together, you know, we both know the mixing and engineering side of it. So I was giving them some tracks. My tracks weren't mixed really well, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, testing phase things. And, you know, we did some tracks over there that were pretty good. And there's another artist named D9. Now he's putting out stuff now. He's with the Regions Music. And we used to just kick it, smoke weed, and like make tracks. You know what I'm saying? And beats too. So, but he's still putting out music. He's still doing this thing. And yeah, D9 Music. He's out right now. So those were some of my first tracks that I ever even gave someone and we recorded. Like I had like a crappy mic and we put it in the corner of my little apartment. There was no like soundproofing or nothing like that. We had like a bootleg Pro Tools. All our plugins were bootleg, everything. Like we could not afford nothing, but we got it together and we put it out on SoundCloud. So
that's what's up. Ingenuity. I like that. So outside of hip hop, are there any genres that have also influenced your ear?
I really like jazz, you know. I like R&B, like old school R&B. Like I had some on in the house just earlier. And then it's like I was listening to Sade since I was like a kid. My mom played it all the time. But now it's like she's like the greatest of all time type shit, you know? I really listened. I went through a lot of phases. Like, do you think you're better off alone? But like the 90s had like the dance joints cracking. You know what I'm saying? And like Daft Punk. I went through all these phases of like dance music to R&B to like. Then I started liking like 3-6, and then the sound of shit. I really love all that stuff. Like, I don't really like country, but there's a country song with Big X to plug that's kind of tight, you know? That's out right now because I listen to Sirius XM a lot. I've been through a lot of phases. My dance music, like, you know, EDM. I even did, there was one little, I interned at a lot of studios, you know, and the engineers were exposed to me to different type of music that I never heard of, like Jersey pop, you know, but it's really like jazz, R&B, soul, like the old classics, you know what I'm saying? Alexander O'Neal and shit like that, My Sunshine, like that stuff, like when it comes on, it's like a rap, you know what I'm saying? I got all types of soundtracks. I like soundtrack music and scores and stuff like that, Brazilian music.
I love a good soundtrack. I love listening to scores. You were saying R&B. I'm like in a 90s R&B moment right now. Not say 90s, Drew Hill. They were the 90s. So yeah, I'm like in a very much so in like a Drew Hill, Jodeci type of mode.
You know what I'm saying? Those 90s R&B, like they wasn't too descriptive on shit like they are now. It was implied. They say what they wanted to do. You would get it. They show up to your job. They hawk you a little different. You know, it was just a time you can't get back.
The 80s R&B too is good, like you said. Alexander O'Neal, Vesta. I love her music. Shirley Murdoch. So yeah,
yeah, that's classic. But you can see how everything is evolving. But honestly, even the R&B now is still getting busy.
Folks say that like R&B is dead, but there's like plenty of good R&B. You just have to know like where to look for it.
Like it's on Twitter tough, and you just gotta know where to look to where's the loop to start to get in the mix. But yeah, you are exactly right. 90s R&B, that shit is undefeated.
You listen back to your earliest work to now. What do you hear in it that's still the same in your music now?
When I look all the way back, a lot of times I didn't have like any low end in my music. As far as the levels of where the sound to fill up a whole spectrum. You know, I didn't understand that back in the day. Maybe it was my equipment wasn't good enough. I wasn't listening the right way. I wasn't using references. But as soon as I got like my low end straight, I just made sure it was just cool on everything. Like my highs, boosting, I was good, you know, but sometimes subtracting is better. And sometimes subtracting makes everything better. You don't have to add every time, you know? So as soon as I started to realize that, and some of my mentors, because I have mentors in mixing as well, you know, so it's just the sound of what makes everything complete. Sometimes you have to pull things out to make it better over here, because stuffing it with shit, that doesn't always make it better. The most consistent thing that I've been working on and is my low end, kind of make sure if you got a sub in your car, that shit is going down. You know what I'm saying? I take pride in the kick, drum, sub, knock.
That's important. How does it sound in the car? Because having
exactly.
that type of feeling is always good. I would say, I'm going to give it the car test. Or when someone asks, have you heard such and such? I said, I like it, but I got to go play it in the car.
Gotta have some low end in it.
Yes. Now, a lot of producers talk about their signature sound. When do you feel like you first discovered yours, and how would you describe it?
I think I found mine like 6, 7 years ago, almost 8. I was trying to make mumble rap beats. You know what I'm saying? And then like everything that came in, I was trying to be like, oh yeah, I can make that, and then try to make that shit. That ain't how you do it. I was chasing, you know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to be known so bad that I was looking past. I was trying too hard. Just like how I said, like, yo, I'm putting too much in a beat. But then it just came to me like, wow, I got all these damn records. I'm looking for like loops online. You know what I'm saying? Like, God set me up to have everything I need right here. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I started to just master one lane. And then like people was hitting me up in that lane. Like, that's hot, you know? No one from another lane that it's fire and I like the sound. No one's hit me on that side. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm rookie in that side, you know? Right here, I got more knowledge in the hip hop lane, you know? It wasn't too far off from hip hop, but it was like a weird little sound, right? As soon as I just took some pride into that and targeted that and go for where my love was already, people was fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? I just stayed there. I didn't move, you know? I did a few albums with a couple homies, like big shout out to my boy DJ B Knockin' from the Bay. We did 5 albums. And then I started to get like people was hitting me up like never before, like just regular, like, yo, I really like this one. You know, I heard what you did on this one. And it just kept motivating me to kind of like polish that sound up in my own way. And and say thank you. You know, like I really try to not act bougie in this shit. Like, I ain't made it yet. You know what I'm saying? And that probably comes from me making mixtapes. I put mad people on mixtapes and they don't say nothing to me like I'm supposed to put them on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or you'll shout somebody out, right? You shout me out for the tape. I say thank you. You know, but then you shout somebody out, they ain't even, they see it, but they ain't saying nothing.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, through the promotion and the mixtapes, Gucci Man, everybody, I put everybody on these tapes. And a lot of them say thank you, but even they just too busy or something, or they don't see the tape. You can't tell them thank you for putting all the work in. That's why I make sure anybody that listens to my tape, everybody that bought my tape, sometimes I'll have like overstock. I'll just send the people that bought the most shit. I just sent the homies a poster. I had these special edition posters. I just sent it to him. He didn't spend like $500-$600 with me. Boom, I'll get you the exclusive stuff just because you've been buying my stuff. I don't know, that gratitude is just crazy.
It's always good to focus on the people who are supporting you versus the ones that aren't. And I want to go back to something that you said before, that you really stayed around the people that were showing love to you and staying where the love is. And I think that is very important instead of trying to, for anyone, any industry that you're in, sometimes instead of trying to shove yourself like, so what do they say, putting a square peg into a round hole and trying to force things, it's best to go where the love is, and you will grow from the fact that you're around people that want to pour into you and want to support you.
And want to work, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you kicking it with a homie, no names being said, but they don't want to do this. I was with that so many times, like, they the loyalist motherfucker, and they just don't. It's a phase to be a rapper or like do this or make beats, and it's cool because everything's not gonna be perfect. You're not gonna meet everybody that goes crazy every time. They looking for something else too. Girl, whatever, better job. I don't know. I think this has just consumed me so much that I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? It's just some people ain't all the way on the same.
That's true. You got to take it serious. So you've built Gryndfest Music Group from the ground up. Was that always part of the plan, or was that something that was born a necessity?
Plan, I guess, because I just had to like put it together and make it kind of poppin'. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like brand my name and just believe in myself that like not tomorrow this shit is gonna happen. Maybe like a year. Like I told myself like this year, like I'm trying to work with as many people as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like Panamera P just got 15 beats off me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Big Spencer hits me up like, yo, he's playing your stuff. I told myself I was gonna like, this was the year to build my team. Like it might look like I'm doing mad projects with mad people, but I'll reach out and okay, if it don't work, it don't work. I'm shooting for like who I think could do something and is nice and fits my beat. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody may be with it. So whoever's with it, I call on them all the time. Like now after this, I ain't gonna be reaching out to niggas all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like Monday night, he's on like 5 tracks that I got just sitting in the ready to come out. So when people hit me to work, yo, who you got? Who's nice that you got? And I'm like, yo, I'll hit Monday night. And then he knocks it out in like 3 days. You know what I'm saying? But some people are different, work different. Maybe they hustling or they're different schedule or whatever, working. But I'm trying to call on my same hitters, that like they have to rock with me. I'm reaching out. I'm a producer in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? Like, so half these people I never even met in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, Freeway Slim, we went to the studio, did like 5 tracks. He's a workaholic type, but everybody that I work with is like in the Gryndfest like family, if they know it or not. Because I'm gonna make my tracks move. Chris Crack, he just hit me up. Like he was one of the first people I ever hit up. He was like, yeah, this is hot. Let me get this one for my album. I told myself after this year, like, I got enough talent unless they hit me up outside in. So pause.
That's good, building a team. I interviewed Monday and he has a very strong work ethic. So, and like you said, when you can find like reliable people that you can keep going back to and building like those relationships. I'd love to see like a producer rapper relationship, people who have been locked in for a long time. Like Alchemist has his group, like Earl Sweatshirt, Rock Marcy, Freddie, like he has the people that he normally works with. And did the move to Los Angeles have an effect on your sound? And
yeah, I saw like the Dr. Dre Ain't Nothing But a G Thing video, and I'm like, yo, Cali looks lit as fuck. Like cars in the street, girls in the street, the weather's never bad. So it did have an effect because I rock with some artists out here too. I don't make those type of West Coast beats. I got this guy, artist Chef Boy, cool dude. He was a barber at first, right? He cut my hair before, like I went away, like emergency haircut type shit. And now he's like on the radio every second. So it's like a couple DJs, like I rock with Cali artists and all that, like a different way. But yeah, it has affected my sound because I do like Shoreline Mafia and all that stuff. And I try to incorporate that stuff because they make sure they got bass in their music. Car culture out here, lowriders come through, and yeah, it's affected me with the things I wanted to work on because when I worked with B Knocking Out in the band, he was like, "Yo, your song don't have no sub. You got to put a sub in it." Like, I play it and there's no low end, so check me on it, and it just came all together. And now it's like I'm in the West Coast, so you got to have low end, and it's easier to clean it up now because before there was no YouTube. But yeah, the West Coast has affected my sound a lot. I like it though.
So let's talk about the Evolution series. You just dropped Evolution 6. What's the vision tying these albums together?
The first one compared to the last one, I just wanted to show like I'm getting better every time. 3 was super fire. I didn't want to rest too heavy on like this one. I'm putting some people on. And it's like all the track singles from the year, and then I put it out. And there's a couple videos still to come out, but I just want to show evolution inside of me. Like the first one, I just found some tracks that I work with people on, cleaned it up, and it was like I threw them all on one record, and they was all probably singles. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, yo, I did like 5 singles, you know, and then I linked it up, and I see that like if you missed a single, because I do drop every month, then you gonna catch it on the album.
With Evolution 5, outlets have noted that you have a really cinematic and booming style. How did you evolve into that chapter?
5 is a lot of soundtrack samples. You know, I do love soundtracks, and everybody really feels like I make like cinematic music. Like my one homie called me like superhero music. I was about to do that whole thing because that's what I try to like sample, like cinematic side of everything. That's what I try to make like loops and stuff like that and put it together in a way. That's just the way I get the pieces out. You know what I'm saying? I like grooves. So it's cinematic. Yeah, that's what I try to shoot for. And this right here is like all my soundtracks. You know, I got the Rocky right there, the Fish in Pittsburgh. That's like an old movie. Like you can't see the other one. But once I discovered that soundtracks had that shit, you know what I'm saying? It was like you could dig for them better. You know what I'm saying? You don't really need to know too much. Like, okay, if you get the Wiz soundtrack, you know what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? So maybe remember a scene or two, like, yo, that's crazy. Maybe I can get that part. I'm a photographer and I do like video stuff on the side a little bit.
Okay.
The thing that changed everything, because I do like promotion too. But as soon as I like streamline everything to like I'm a producer right here, you know what I'm saying? Like instead of like mixing my like work with the beats, and I'm not trying to be 9 different things. That's you're like, I know you got the makeup. Like, okay, you on your style shit too. But right now, you the podcast killer. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people that buy stuff or getting introduced to you are going to know that. So it's the super fans are going to figure some other stuff out later. So you just got to give them that. I had too much stuff going on. I'm a photographer. I'm a videographer. So, but then when I streamlined that from 5 to 6, you know, 5 was hella soundtrack samples. Like I was going through my Japanese record buying phase, you know, like I'm going to spend like thousands of dollars on it.
I was going to say that's not a cheap habit.
I had to sneak them in the house, my wife not looking and shit. Like, yeah. Or like back at the back porch. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, for real, it was getting bad. Like every day there was Japanese or import records on the porch type shit. Like, so I had to chill with that. And then I had to value what I had a little bit more because I felt like I found a way and I wanted to get to it, you know, and I got hooked on that little section. So that's a lot of 5 was like a lot of that, you know, 4 was a lot of that. But 6 was like, there's a lot of samples that you don't have to dig to get. Like they'd be right in front of your face, like the whispers. You know what I'm saying? Like regular stuff. Like sometimes you think like you gotta go dig and it's the dusty little record in the back or something. You know what I'm saying? Nah, sometimes it'd be regular shit. Your mama been telling you this is hot. And there's a little part in there that, so I'm just like evolving with everything. Like, cause it's like fun, you know, like once you get bit by this bug, it's crazy.
How do you balance giving each evolution its own mood and identity while still keeping the series cohesive?
Well, it's just like what I'm going through at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, everybody's asking me for grimy beats. I'm working with Reek Osama, Eddie Kane, like grimy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like dark, like study like what DJ Muggs did and why, you know, Premiere was dark, you know? And then it's like, as soon as like they'll challenge me on some dark shit or like no drum, people want ones with no drums, it's working out, you know? I don't think there was one drum in me and Three-Way Slims when we recorded the other day. Like I'm evolving on that side, dark and no drum. And then it's almost that subtraction thing that I was talking about before. Like just leave it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I get this sound, is what everybody's asking me for at that time, like a year and a half before I drop the next one, you know? So that's what I'm on right now.
So you brought together a very massive roll call. And I'm going to say, really, for all of these projects, you bring together a large number of artists. On this one, Reek Osama, Figerson, Nowaah the Flood, Passport Rev, Michael Christmas, Monday Night, Three-Way Slim, and a lot more. How do you choose your collaborators?
Well, Figerson, I've been wanting to try to work with him for mad long. Like, he has the mysterious, you can't even see his face, right? And he does this, the rain thing is fire. You know what I'm saying? And I've been wanting to work with him for a long time. That was like the last track I did. I had this shit ready like months before I did the Figerson track. And then Nowaah the Flood hit me up. So I just thought them two, like, was going to make something crazy, you know? Then I got the video guy, my boy, Only 90 Raps. We've been doing this thing for like 3 years where we'll get a movie, right? And I don't want to say I started it, but it was like 4 years ago, all right? We'll get the movie, right? And he'll find a movie that links up to the song, that gives the song the feel. And he'll cut it up with the lyrics, and then he'll put that piece of the movie in there, right? The whole song, right? So like in the Figerson, stab you in the neck or something, the blade go through your neck. He found a part of Mortal Kombat that did that. I got mad videos like that. We've been doing that for mad long, ever since I did the Rome Streets, Ghost Biscuit, and it was across 110th Street. Just put everything together. It was just cold. So I just thought, like, I put it together like, yo, Figerson's gonna have the Mortal Kombat video. My boy OK DZ, he's buzzing in the underground in Chicago. He gonna have a regular video of him just swag. He's like 20 years old. So he's just like swagging. And then my boy Jay Hayes lives here. So we did like a little, I filmed his shit in the studio. We was on the Cutwaters and all that. I was like, look, oh, let's just film this right here. Degrees right here. We filmed that right here. So like the people that are here, I'll shoot that, you know, with them. You know what I'm saying? And the people that I can't get to, I'll get like a cartoon video or something, you know. Or I've tried the whole like send a videographer out there, it never works. So I like the little cartoons and like movie edits because I can control that.
Working with so many voices, how do you ensure that every track fits the album's energy and aesthetic?
Everything that I record kind of fits. My boy Feeling Rich, he sounds like Larry June a little bit. So he's got his own like kind of pimping style. I kind of like that. If it feels like it needs more, I'll try to make it all cohesive. Like, okay, the Figerson is like some grimy, crazy underground shit, right? But then like the Degree is kind of up top, kind of Alchemist sounding. So I try to get one or two things of each in the production because it's really like the artist is going to do their thing, but I got the palette where it's at. So like the Miss Me is a vocal sample. You're not going to hear too much other vocal driven samples. And I'll know when it's too much. Like if I got 3 no drums in a row, it's just like going up the hill and then there's a climax and you want to keep them there. And then you end it all with like Michael Christmas just snapping on the whole damn track. And that's basically how I do it. And then I'll do the order later, you know.
Okay.
I'll subtract some things and then I'll do the order at the end.
Vinyl and limited run formats are out for this project. Tell me about how important it is to you to provide the experience of physical media to your supporters.
Oh man, that's the way. I mean, as soon as you see your record on like Discogs, you ever heard of Discogs where you see like all the records at? And then my shit's like $100, right? That just told me like, yo, they trying to sell my shit for $100, yo? I gotta put out some more shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like Sweden. It never says like Kansas or no shit like that. It's always overseas, right? And you know, I was blessed to work with Bars Over BS. Rim put me on to them, so I didn't have no plugs. I didn't even know what to do. Rim kind of like said, "Yo, it's the physicals, man. Streaming ain't no money, man." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna link us up with Bars Over BS, and they gonna put it out. And then we put out a shirt. I was like, all right, I'll just follow this lead. And then after that, I saw my shit on sale online, and it's really not a bootleg thing. Like I like the bootleg culture. Like bootleg, there's a demand for it. I think it's so important, especially in the realm that I'm at in underground hip hop, because you don't see like pop people are starting to do it a little bit, but it's really like some underground shit. It's like some black shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just kept running it. Like every release had to be that. And that's what the Evolution 6 is. Like I put out my own tapes, my own CDs. I had never done that before. So that's like the top. And that was a perfect question to ask in order. You did your research on that. Perfectly in order too. It led right up to this because that was the peak of like the evolution is I put out my own CD. So I think it's very important. I funded all that myself. You know what I'm saying? It took a second, but it was cool.
Yeah, I encourage people to buy that because, streaming doesn't last forever. That's one thing, too. A song that you love is not guaranteed to be or stay on streaming. The artist doesn't have to keep it up there. So if you have a physical copy, you always have the song. So Evolution 6 that's one chapter. What is next for you? Is there an Evolution 7 brewing or a solo instrumental surprise?
Yeah, the Rona, I'm going to do X. That's what I was waiting to get to 10. I got Rona 10 already. It's easily put together. You know what I'm saying? I hit up my engineer. He sends me all the instrumentals from all the songs, and then I pick out of it. If I don't put the instrumentals on like a vinyl on the other side, I try to like keep the exclusivity. So yeah, that's definitely on the way. That's the order of everything. Like I'll do Evolution, then I'll do a Rona, then I'll do Evolution and a Rona. I got a lot of projects I'm working on now, like behind the scenes. Usually I'll move like one playlist around for the artist. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll be like 9 artists in this one playlist that I put beats into every night, right? Panamera P took like 20 out the bin. So I had like 40 in there. So I was like, yeah, run it up. So I'm just excited. I keep saying that because I'm excited. No one ever really gets that many at once. So I'm like excited on what, and he's like turning up too. I do have like a Degree project on the way. I got 2 Jay Hayes projects on the way. I'm really close to finishing this Eddie Kane project. Like that's going to be really fire. Like I'm finishing up some stuff there. And it's like, he's versatile. I got a Reek Osama project on the way. I got a AP The Overlord finishing up. I also got 3-Way Slim. Dude is a beast in the studio. Like, we did 6 tracks in one day in like 4 or 5 hours. I got some more stuff coming, some singles, some Lucy's coming too. That's enough, right? So basically, I have all these, right? So I just like plan them out. Like when they're ready, you never stop. You know what I'm saying? You get ready, but you got like 5 others that are like 90%. So when one's finished, you go there and then you time it out. That's why it looks like I'm like working crazy.
So for aspiring producers, especially in 2025, what's your advice for building your sound and finding the right people?
Honestly, like sometimes you just practice. Like if you just starting and the home, you need somebody to say vocals onto the mic. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to just go a little further than that. It's usually the person that just wants every one of your beats, right? Like, oh, that's hot. Like the one you think is whack, like you like that, and they love it. You got to get with that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? If they nice or not, your beat may make them step up their game or whatever, you know? You don't know who's going to be it, though. You know what I'm saying?
Before we go, is there anything you'd like to plug or your socials or where we can find you on the internet?
Well, yeah, socials, it's written right there, but that's how you spell it. BHRAMA. And I've locked down my Twitter handle is the same thing. Instagram is the same thing. But to get all the music and all that, you can go to my Bandcamp and my Gryndfestmusicgroup.com. That's where all like the posters, the stickers, there's an Evolution 3 up there. I got a couple instrumental tapes up there. So support, man. I'm not going nowhere.
Again, I thank you for coming on to the podcast and talking with me. It was a great conversation. That is a wrap for today's episode of Behind the Beat. A big thank you to Bhrama Bull for coming through and sharing his vision and giving us the inside scoop on Evolution 6. If you haven't tapped in yet, go stream the album. It is out now on all platforms. Make sure you follow him on social media to keep up with everything he's doing with Gryndfest Music Group. And as always, thank you all for listening and supporting the show. If you love this conversation, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share with a friend. Until next time, Saints and Eights, love you. Bye.
Peace.